Long ago, in a land far away, lived a woman who couldn't have children. She and her husband had prayed for a child for many years, but their prayers seemed unanswered. One day, an angel appeared to her bringing a message from God. He told her she would have a son, a child destined for greatness. This son would be special, chosen for a unique purpose. He would be a Nazirite, set apart from birth. This meant he would be dedicated to God, living a life of special devotion. He would have incredible strength, a power beyond ordinary men, but there was a rule he must never break. He must never cut his hair, for it was the source of his strength. The woman and her husband were amazed and filled with joy at the angel's words. They named their son Samson, a name that would be remembered for generations. And just like the angel promised, Samson grew strong, his strength a testament to his divine purpose. His strength was a gift from God, enabling him to perform incredible feats. Samson grew up always remembering his promise to God, never forgetting the source of his power. He knew his strength came from his hair. He protected it carefully, understanding its significance. Samson was different, but he was ready to do great things, fulfilling the special promise made before his birth. Samson's strength was like nothing anyone had seen before. His feats of power were legendary, and stories of his incredible might spread far and wide. One day, a fierce lion attacked Samson while he was on his way to Timnah. With his bare hands, Samson fought the lion. He tore it apart with sheer force, leaving everyone in awe of his strength. The lion stood no chance against him. Samson's victory over the beast was a testament to his unparalleled power. Another time, Samson faced an entire army. The odds were overwhelmingly against him. The Philistines, enemies of Samson's people, surrounded him. They were determined to capture or kill him. All Samson had was a donkey's jawbone. It seemed like a hopeless situation, but that was all he needed. His confidence and strength turned the tide of the battle. Samson fought bravely, striking down his enemies with the jawbone. His courage was unmatched. 1,000 Philistines fell to Samson that day. His victory was nothing short of miraculous. Samson's strength made him a hero to his people. They celebrated his victories and looked up to him as their protector. He was a symbol of hope against their enemies. His presence alone inspired courage and resilience. But Samson's greatest challenge was yet to come. It would test him in ways he had never imagined. It wouldn't come from a lion or an army. This challenge was far more personal and insidious. It would come from a woman. Her name was Delilah, and she would change the course of Samson's life forever. Her name was Delilah. She was beautiful and cunning. The Philistines, seeking to defeat Samson, went to Delilah. They bribed her with silver and gold. They wanted her to uncover the secret of Samson's strength. Delilah agreed. She pretended to love Samson. She showered him with affection. She begged him to tell her his secret. Over and over, Samson refused, but Delilah was persistent. She wore down his defenses. Finally, Samson gave in. "It is my hair," he confessed. "If it is cut, my strength will leave me." Samson had made a grave mistake. He had betrayed his promise to God, and he would soon face the consequences. Section 4. Imprisoned and blinded. As Samson slept, Delilah betrayed him. She called for the Philistines. They rushed in and cut off Samson's hair. His strength vanished. The Philistines easily overpowered him. They bound him in chains and took him captive. Samson's punishment was cruel. The Philistines blinded him. They threw him in prison. He was forced to grind grain like an animal. Once he had been a hero. Now he was a prisoner. His spirit was broken. He had lost everything because of his mistake. But even in prison, Samson's hair began to grow back. He was weak, but he still had one last chance to redeem himself. Section 5. Samson's Revenge. The Philistines were celebrating their victory. They had captured Samson, the mighty warrior who had once been their greatest enemy. They gathered in a great temple, a place of worship and celebration, to honor their gods for this triumph. They mocked Samson and his god, jeering and laughing at the once powerful man who now stood before them in chains. They brought Samson out to entertain them, to humiliate him further in front of the gathered crowd. They thought he was powerless. They were wrong. Samson, though blinded and weakened, still had the spirit of a warrior. Samson, feeling a glimmer of his old strength, prayed to God. He sought divine intervention, a final surge of power to fulfill his destiny. "Give me strength one last time," he pleaded, his voice filled with desperation and hope. Guided to the temple's main pillars, Samson pushed with all his might. His muscles strained and his heart pounded with determination. The pillars cracked and crumbled. The entire temple shook, the ground trembling beneath the force of his effort. The Philistine revelers watched in terror as the roof caved in. Their celebration turned to chaos and fear. Samson brought the temple down upon them, killing himself and his enemies. In his final act, he achieved a devastating victory. Samson's story is a tragic one. It is a tale of great strength and profound weakness, of a man who was both hero and flawed human. He was a man of incredible strength, brought low by his own weakness. His downfall was as dramatic as his feats of strength. But in his final act, he found redemption. He used his last moments to strike a blow against his enemies and save his people. He sacrificed himself to save his people, a selfless act that turned his tragic story into one of heroism. Samson's story reminds us that even when we fall, we can still find a way back to God. Redemption is always within reach. We must learn from our mistakes and strive to be better. Each failure is an opportunity to grow and improve, for in the end, it is our faith and our actions that define us. Samson's legacy teaches us the power of faith and the importance of our choices.